And so you guys, I want to introduce Consie Sindet to you. Did I say that right, Consie?
Yeah. Yep. Consie
Okay.
Sindet. Yep.
She is going to take questions about her project, the Sugar Skull Junk Journal
Tag
project.
journal. Yep. Mhm.
So this was the first one that I did, and I really, really, really love it. So I'm going to sit here and do it, finish it up while she's teaching. And so take it away, Consie.
Okay. I guess I hope everything is okay with everybody. The technical difficulties continue on my end as well. I live in South Carolina, so there was a little hurricane that happened last week. And so I think our internet is back. We'll find out when I get home because I'm not home. So at least we got power back. So that was lovely. I guess if there's any questions about the project, I am not in my studio. So all I have is the sample. And so if there's something someone wants me to go over, I'd be happy to do that. Sugar skulls are something that I think I said this, I'm not sure, we recorded this so long ago. I have no idea what I said in my intro video. But sugar skulls were something that I painted a lot as a face painter. I was a face painter for 10 years, and it was one of our, very popular. We had a very basic one that we painted on people, but then we would do more elaborate ones for people for Halloween. And so can I show the project? Sure. Let me, I don't think I have the ability to put me in the spotlight. Christy, can you put me in the spotlight?
Do you mean pin you?
No, not pin. Pin will pin it for you. If you hover over, do you have the ability to put me in this, like it should say make me spotlight somewhere?
I can do speaker view.
Okay, sure. I guess if that might not pop it in everyone's view. So just if you wanted to see the project closer, then just go to speaker view on your end.
Okay. Yeah, it records a speaker view and a gallery view, so the replays will come out right. But okay, there you go.
Okay, so the project is a tag journal, and y'all have printables so that you can print out blank skulls and cut them out for yourselves. And then I show you how to decorate them. Not in some are in depth, some are not. It's all different. And thank you, Kelly. I saw what Kelly wrote in chat. And so I wanted you to be able to take what you do as an art journaler and a mixed media artist and put them on the skulls. Like y'all all have skills, you all have loves of certain things. Some of you love, collaging and gluing stuff down. Some of you like doodling. So this one is all done with Sharpie markers. Okay. Oh, thank you, Sonia. And then same thing. So, you can get as elaborate as you want to, as far as, what are you as a doodler? There's also blank skulls. So if you want to start from scratch, you can. So the back of this blank one is done with all collage. Okay, so paper punches and collage work. And so it's all dimensional. It's hard to tell. And then, I went back in with some watercolor. And then I also printed out the skulls on pattern paper. Okay, so that you can have a start to the skull. So this was a pattern paper that had some roses in the background. And this was a very down and dirty way of playing with it. And then this one, I just spent some more time like playing with the watercolor and emphasizing the flowers that came up as part of my scrapbook paper. So this is a great way for you to use up your paper, because I know a lot of you got some scrapbook paper lying around, I'm sure. Okay. So then this one I printed on this checkerboard or gingham and just used paint markers to, enhance it a little bit. In the end, you could, if your pattern paper was super elaborate, you could just print it on the scrapbook paper, print the skull out, and call it good. So, part of this can also be you just having something fun to look at. Okay. And then I did one where the background, I printed it with the black, so white, and then all the designs for the skull are black. And again, this is all paint marker that I did over it. And then I was at my local dollar store and discovered, stick-on gems. So I went banana pants with the stick-on gems. And, I even did his teeth. So he has a grill, which is delightful. And, I found that hilarious when I was finished. So, the other thing is taking some of your, stick-on things or stickers. I don't think I use stickers on any of the samples, but using your stickers, how could you use your stickers to decorate the skull? Okay. Oh, thanks. I think that, did I do more? No, I don't think I did much more. So, this is what the blank looks like this, a complete blank where you can do whatever you want. This design, when you print it, was so that the eyes didn't have anything in it. Everything was just an outline for you. And then there was one more, and this was the fourth. And the fourth one was in grayscale so that you had the ability to use it as just a pattern. So I just want you to take it and, print yourself out a bunch and go crazy. I printed it on 8.5 by 11 so that the skulls sat next to each other. And then I folded them and glued them together so they were back to back. You can just print them out one at a time so that maybe, if you were using this project as more of a Day of the Dead project, which I know Christy did. A lot of people use Day of the Dead or celebrate Day of the Dead, in remembrance of those that have passed. So if you were to decorate the sugar skulls for that reason, then you could just do the decorating on the front and leave the back blank and use it as journaling space. Okay. It could just be, also you could just make a whole journal of sugar skulls and use the back for journaling. Pull a tarot card every day and write about it. My year tarot card for the year is the death card. That this would be the perfect, if that's your tarot card of the year or your personal tarot card of the year, this would be something that you could do. You could pull, make a whole sugar skull journal and play with it. And also take it into your regular journals. It doesn't have to be, a tag journal. I'm a fan of tag journals recently. I go through seasons of things. So, it all of a sudden tag journals are the thing to make for me. And so, that's what I came up with, but you could take the concepts and just put them into all of your junk journals or, make a deck with them. It doesn't have to be, on a ring. It could just be a loose deck that you make, like an inspiration deck. So that would be fun. What kinds of other journals that are themed do I do? I don't have themes. I am not a big, huge theme person. I just play with whatever I want to play with. My journals don't have, like I don't, I don't have like a gratitude journal. I have a gratitude journal because I've taught a gratitude journal, but it's not something that I'm like, when I finish this, I will build another gratitude journal. I just like to play in different kinds of paper. So I have built a lot of journals. I have a lot of handmade journals. And so for me, it comes down to what paper I want to use, what size I want to use, who am I talking to? Like if I'm in my membership, then what are we looking at? What are we learning? So then that comes into play. I'm definitely not one to say I have to finish this journal before I pick up the next one. That will never happen. I just bounce around until they're done. I do go usually in order because, but then it depends. I have junk journals that are super junk built. Like they have so many different weird pages that then I'll flip around and see which one speaks to me that day. And I work on it. I love journals as what I call them, Kelly will tell you this. I use the word container. Like I love journals. I think of them as a container. That's why I like the tag journal or to make journals that are different shapes. My membership has one that's made, looks like our hands. We built it from our hands. So that like the theme for that is like creativity's in your hands, but what you put in it is whatever you feel like putting in it. Yeah, Kelly is showing hers. And I like journals that are small, that are, kind of small, simple. Part of my philosophy is small journals, simple supplies, short amounts of time. And so something like the tag journal that I shared for y'all is the perfect thing. It's small, it fits the size, it's size of my hand. You can do one. You could take an hour to decorate one, or you could take 5 minutes and just put some watercolor down. You don't need a lot of supplies. You literally could doodle all of them with a pen, and then you'd be done. So I like to keep creative practices super, super simple. And that way I feel like people do them as opposed to getting stuck in the weeds of all the supplies and the busyness or how big a project has to be. If I feel like if you start small and start simple and start with quick bites of time, then a creative practice can build. And then you feel super successful when you spend an hour sometimes, or if you have a whole day and then you're like, yay, I had a whole day, as opposed to I need a whole day. There's a big difference with I had a whole day versus I need a whole day. Because if you need a whole day, good luck. Not many of us have a whole day to just say, yeah, let's go play in my studio. So I hope that's helpful. And I hope that answered the question about theme journals, because yeah, not really I'm more like, what season am I in? Right now it's glue all the stuff. I cannot stop gluing things. Like it's a collage. Collage and watercolor seem to be my thing right now. So
Consie, would you mind if I show my sugar skull?
no, of course not.
Okay, I'm just coloring something in really quick and now I'm done. So this is the one that I made. Actually I made this on the day that my mom passed, but 13 years later. And so I didn't really realize that this was going to happen, but I started watching her thing and I'm like, oh my gosh, this would be perfect for me to do right now. So I did this, and her favorite flower is iris. And so Ezra, who's in here, and I both have this tattoo from my mother, and it says Memento Mori. And so on the back here, I dotted out Memento Mori. And so, yeah, that's what I did. That's how I'm using it. So it's for me to share.
Absolutely. I mean, this is just, I take all classes that come to me or that I share with other people as it's an invitation. It's an invitation to take what I'm sharing on, not a directive. I mean, I couldn't care less what you did with the class. Like, what does it speak to you? If you're like, I love this idea, but I don't want to do it on, I love how she decorated with gems, but skulls are not my thing, people. Fine. Cut out hearts, cut out whatever, cut out the shapes that you want to cut out and just use the ideas behind it. Take, what is it? Take what serves you and just leave the rest behind. It's always just an invitation to play and just, being creative shouldn't stress you out. And, I don't come to my art journals. Like I know there are many people that come to their art journals as a way of working through emotion. And when I'm like deep in the weeds of any emotion, like negative emotion, I shouldn't say deep in the weeds of joy, because when it's joyful, I'm slinging pink paint. But when it's, deep in the weeds of like a hard emotion, I don't go to my art journal. Like I can't be creative. I have to like let that out in a different way. And I let it out through reading, because then I can like go into someone else's world for a while. But if I can show up to my art journal the next time I'm, content or joyful or just, happy in a maybe even just a neutral space, whatever was happening is going to end up showing up. I don't care what you like, it will. Sometimes it is just about play and about, slinging hot pink paint, and that's fine. But I come to it with just a sense of play and curiosity, and I'm going to see what happens. And then there have been so many times that I've come out the other end of it, and I was like, holy crap, that was what was happening in my subconscious this whole time. And now I've let it out, but in a playful, fun, joyful way, as opposed to, getting angry and going at it. And that's just me. If you go to your art journal when you're in a negative emotion and it helps you work it through, you. That's the way. Then you are paying attention to your intuition, and you're paying attention to how you see your art practice. And that's the best part, like, to do that. Kelly, I have no idea what music was in my presentation. If you would like to email me and ask that question again, I can go back and look at it and see if I can figure out what the music was. I have a bunch of music that sits in my iMovie, and I just pull as I need it. So, Kelly, and I'll go back as Ezra. I saw they have a question, but Kelly had said that one of the easiest practices you encourage is making a mark. Can I share that process? Yes. Making a mark. So I feel like creative practices should even just come down to a single mark. Okay. I will tell you that a Post-it and a pen can be your creative practice. And so if you sat just while you wait for your coffee to brew and you just keep dotting away, or you draw in circles, or you draw little hearts, or like, that's you getting into your creative practice. It doesn't have to be this big, audacious, art journal spread. We share those, and you see those on Instagram, because people are not sharing the Post-it with the dots. Okay. So remember that, at some point, that big, beautiful spread started with them slinging some paint down, or rubbing some rubber stamps, or taking a stencil and just adding a little background mark on there. So, I actually have I didn't realize that I said that so much. Start with the mark, just start with the mark, until a few years ago. And then a friend of mine, Shemi Dixon, who some of you might know, Shemi, and I have an actual challenge for January called Start with a Mark, because we want to encourage you to just pick up whatever the supply is and put something down, because you can stare at the blank page and you can watch YouTube videos all you want. But at some point, you have to put that art supply onto a surface. And even if it's just the ugliest thing, even if it's a bunch of black dots, it's the start, and then you can make the next step. What do the black dots look like? I don't know. They look like Dalmatian puppies. Ooh, puppies. Let's go find a picture of a puppy in a magazine. Like, that's how my brain works. I'm like, ooh, and then you're flipping through the magazine and you're like, ooh, look at this. And you find the magazine picture and you start to grab, it, but you have to start. You have to start somewhere. So start with black dots on a Post-it with a ballpoint pen. Thank you for that question, Kelly. I hope that explained what I was thinking. All right, Ezra, this might be too complex of a question, but sometimes I get stuck being creative because I can't figure out where to start or what to do. Whoa, a black dot on a piece of paper. Like, I don't have a lot of ideas off the top of my head. Do you have any suggestions or places to start when you get option paralysis? Yes. I am a huge fan of prompts. Okay. Either build yourself a prompt deck or find someone who has a prompt deck. Oh, there's mine. I have many prompt decks. You just email me, I'll send you something. And you have to just, like, the idea doesn't have to come. The idea can literally be scraping paint. The idea literally can be, I look around my room and the first color that I see today is, ooh, purple. Okay, let me just start with purple. I have to say that I tell people that I only make one decision, the first thing. I have to make a decision. I must pick up a journal and do something. Put orange paint down, stencil it, stamp it, whatever you want to do. After that is reaction. It's what does that make me feel like? What does that stamp remind me of? Kind of like just letting your brain noodle. Okay. You can also just take paper and glue it all over a page. It has to mean nothing, Ezra, nothing. It is just you taking a bunch of little baby pieces of scraps and a glue stick and gluing it all over a page. And just see what happens. Maybe it reminds you of something. Maybe the colors start to speak to you. Maybe the colors, like all the color, you're like, oh, I keep picking up orange. Oh, I keep picking up pink. A lot of it is paying attention, like tuning in and seeing, like, and not questioning. No guilt, no nothing. If you're, whatever you're feeling, let it be. Just let it come up, let it bubble. And, but I would say like prompts. Prompts are really, really something that I use a lot of. Because when you're stuck, let someone else tell you, okay? Let someone else tell you what to do. It can be a prompt that's just a bunch of colors. Take all if you're a watercolor, you love watercolors, take all your watercolors, put them on little bits of paper, put them in a jar. The next time you're stuck, pull one of those out and put it on. Like it can be that simple. It really can. And then just keep going. Part of, I think, the paralysis is that we can get stuck in the, what if I don't do it right? What if it looks like crap? What if this is like, has no meaning? And honestly, the meaning, I don't want you to do anything. I want you to do what you want to do. My invitation, my, thought into the world is creativity needs to be done for the purpose of doing, the process. The success and the joy and the delight of having something finished that you are absolutely in love with is bonus. Bonus. Let it be about the doing. Let it be about the curiosity, the what if, the head tilt, the failure, the holy crap, what was that? Put those colors together. You did. Why did you put the colors together? Why do you not like it? Start to play the what if game. What if I added this? What if I did this? What if I don't like this? Oh, maybe next time I won't put those colors together. But then, it just becomes a big process and a big playground. Think of what kids do when they run onto a playground. They're like, I'm going up this. I'm going to go down the slide. Let's try this. Let's try that. They never think, well, if I go up the slide, am I going to go down backwards? Should I go down frontwards? I mean, there are some children that do that. Yes, we all know those children. But 9 times out of 10, they're like, whew, they're gone. And then they're on to the next thing and then off the monkey bars. And they're doing this and they're doing that. Blah, 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 blah. Do that with your art. Let it be. Just let it be. Let it be fun. You don't have to show it to anyone. You can just keep turning the page. That was the best thing about art journaling that I ever found. I could just turn the page. That was the most freeing thing ever, especially coming from someone who has like an art background and was teaching toll painting and decorative painting on surfaces where people were literally putting them in their homes, lazy Susans and tables and canvases. And I would watch people freeze up. And I was like, well, this isn't fun. But then what if you just put it on a piece of paper and then you're like, oh, that's fun. Turn the page. Oh, that's fun. Just curiosity, fun. See what happens. So, boy, that was a ramble. So sometimes I feel like I'm on my creative soapbox. I have to stand up on my watercolor set and talk. Gwen, thank you very much. I've made a couple of Consie's journals, but I don't journal in them. Yes, that would be Gwen. Yes, I also am a big fan of just making journals because that is also fun. It's okay to just make a journal. One day it'll speak to you and you'll need to do something. Yeah, so go for it. Anybody else? Anybody else have a rant? They feel the need to chat about. It will be fine. So, but yeah, that's, just have fun. Just have fun. Let whoever is in this summit. Just find one thing from everybody's class. That's all you need. What's one thing that you can add to your art practice? That's all. And then let the rest lie, go away. And they'll come back when you need them. I always find, I have found that when I need something, when I'm open and not striving to make it look good. And I just kind of just keep gluing stuff down and letting stuff play and ripping paper. Then, yeah, it comes. And then you just let it be. So thank you, Susan. September was a month. So I feel like, unfortunately, y'all are getting my, out.
Thanks. We like that. So can you show us some of your other?
I am not home.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Actually, I do have something with me. I could probably
Okay.
hang on.
Nice. Very
Well,
cool.
because we're journalers, don't leave home without it.
That's right.
So I can show you that. So yeah. I think I have to, so that I can make sure. Oh, Susan, yes, it's been a month. Okay. All right, so this is a journal, like a regular, well, it's an art journal, but it's one that I have been journaling. I journal in as well. So I'll just do a little flip through, and so you can kind of see. So this is another option, by the way, to do a tag journal instead of the skulls. If you're like, the skulls, draw your hand and make a tag of hands. Okay, you can do a lot of the same idea. I'm hoping this is not backwards. Y'all are reading this, like you can read it. Okay, good. Because to me it's backwards, but that's okay. So, just gluing tags down, whatever. I'm a big tarot person. So I have a lot of tarot spreads in my journal. And some of these are actually on YouTube videos. So if you pop onto my YouTube channel, you might see some of these coming together. But this is one of those pages that has, it's not like it doesn't have a direction, because I think in the end it was fine, but it was like, I just kept gluing stuff to it. And then I just kept gluing stuff, and then I added stenciling, and then I added a couple quotes. And so it didn't have, there's some watercolors in here too. Yeah. And these are all like watercolored collage fodder that I make and then cut out. This is, I love this page. This is, I get a email every day from the universe, because, I'm woo like that. And the email was like ridiculous. I was like, what? And so I printed it out and put it in an art journal to remind myself that, I'm not listening to the universe. Actually, I'm going to read it to you because I think that everyone needs to hear this. So it says, Consie, imagine yourself on a warm summer evening before a calm, clear pond. The moon is full, the stars are shining, whippoorwills are whippoorwilling, and I am with you. Now, do you know how to float on water? For the most part, you do absolutely nothing, at which point I can hold you at the surface in the palm of my hand. It's simply a matter of physics, the laws of time and space, and your natural state. Are you with me? Okay, now you'll have to trust me. But it's the same when it comes to floating in wealth and abundance, health and harmony, friends and laughter. These are all your natural state, your default settings, the givens in this great adventure. These are where true balance is found. They can be yours without strenuous effort. You don't even have to visualize them. Just stop the argument that claims you're without. Surrender in the struggle that presumes you lack. Come out from that fort that has kept you so safe and follow your heart with abandon. You can breathe now, the universe.
I love that.
Oh my God.
Who didn't love that? Come on.
I just had to stop and print and save, because now I can read it all the time. Okay. Wait, there was I love the layouts. Yes. Thank you, Trees. I don't want to sound like a complete newbie. That's okay. We all are newbies at something, my friend. What are all the different types of journals that one can make? Where do I begin? Okay, so this would be a bought journal. They would be tag journals, which is this one. A junk journal is basically junk put together. And when I say put together, you could staple it together. You could sew it through a sewing machine. You could stitch it like I want to say a pamphlet stitch. That's the word I'm always thinking of. A pamphlet stitch. I mean, honestly, if you have paper and a stapler, you're good. Take paper, fold it in half, and staple it. That's the type. There's no bookbinding is its own little thing, but yeah, I make journals out of cardboard. I'm a fan of cardboard and masking tape. So that's all. I'll keep moving since you want to not see my face. So this is the type of painting I used to teach. Decorative painting. A long time ago. I used to do murals on walls, and I've painted a body or two in my time. Body painting was a fun thing. If you ever get to body paint someone, do it. The best canvas is the one that's breathing in front of you. It's amazing. So yeah, some more tarot. And so sometimes when I was playing with setting up journal sections, so that when I come to a page, I don't feel like overwhelmed with journaling. Like it doesn't, I could just pick a little section and go for it. This was a class I was taking and I was journaling. And then, you know, there's always the fold outs. So yeah, I'm a big fan of if you're a writing journal person and you need to inspire yourself and the white pages bother you, then do stuff like this. This is just all one, I don't even know what the background is. A hot mess of stuff. And then I just put lined paper on it, okay? Here's some inspiration for you for Halloween. So yeah, again, it's just playing. It's just seeing what comes up. Boxes and stenciling, gluing stuff down, washi tape, when in doubt, stick down washi tape, stamps. I mean, honestly, as you can see, the theme to this is do. There is no theme. It's just whatever I feel like doing in the moment. Kelly, these should look familiar. This is a great to draw a tree, and then the prompt says, what does nature mean to me? And you can journal up and over all the branches. So you're not journaling in a straight line, you can journal in the tree. Oh no, another tarot spread. Sorry, I can't help that. They show up a lot. These are fun. Go ahead.
I said, we love them. It's fine.
I know. And then pages like this are so that you can have something in the background. You can just leave it, or this one was me teaching it again, and then I started writing around it. Okay. One of my favorites. I've taught this a few times. And then this is a different version of it. Again, setting myself up to journal, but not having overwhelming space. For those that are like, what do I do? This is one of my favorite things. It is just tiny bits of collage glued down and then put a quote on top of it. Done. Looks pretty. Again, setting yourself up for little bits. This is something I did in a day because I make YouTube videos. So, you know, I do things in like big spurts of time. But this is the type of journal page that you would set up, and you could do watercolor a little bit each day, or you could doodle in it or do other things, because if you overlap them even more, you have all these tiny little spaces to work in. Okay. This is a page, actually, this is not my design. Well, not my design, but a friend of Kelly and I, Zoe, talked us through a nature journaling page. And so we had to pick something that we could see outside of our window or whatever. And so she kind of walked us through how she nature journals. So that was something, every time I see this page, I'm just delighted by that. Carns, just bits of paper glued down with some watercolor. More paper, some stamps. So yeah, that should help you with hope that helps like give you some thoughts and some ideas of you know, where you can take a page, where how it doesn't have to be, like I said, it doesn't have to be anything special. It just has to be you.
That's crazy inspirational.
Good. Well, I'm glad I threw it in my bag.
Love it. Yeah, I'm glad you did too. Awesome. Does anybody have any more questions? We still have about 15 minutes. So I'll just say what I was thinking, that I think that that's a really smart idea to not view the spread as something that needs to be done, you know, all in one sitting. I love that idea. And all the spreads that you showed us, that were just setting yourself up for coming in, and, you know, that is so doable.
That's where the time comes in. Like, you know, if you were having like a minute here and 2 minutes here and 5 minutes, 15 minutes, then sometimes it's hard to go to a blank page and allow yourself a minute. But if you go to a tiny little square on that blank page or a circle or whatever, then it feels less, you can feel finished because you finished that little section. So
Yeah.
it's the finishing and that makes people feel successful. Like, I finished this page, I finished this journal. So bring the finished sections down to a manageable size so that when you do a minute here and 5 minutes here, then you can finish.
That's a
So
great idea.
yeah.
Yeah. Love that. Thank you so much for that.
You're welcome.
I'm over here looking for a journal to
Yeah,
to start.
I mean, also just make
drawing in.
journals tiny. You know, journals don't have to be, you can just make like, I don't know, another one, because someone else, the amount of the journals, Kelly was the complete newbie. Okay. Was zines. If you've never made a zine or don't know what a zine is, Z-I-N-E, okay, well, if I had a piece of paper, I could tell you. I don't think I have a piece of paper. Here, I might be able to do this. We'll do this because I'm also one that says you can zine with anything. But most people
Nice.
make a zine. Okay, Kelly, if you pin Kelly Kemmerly up in the corner, she's going through a zine. So a zine is one single piece of paper folded that ends up with 8 different sections in it. Okay, so
Oh.
I'm pinning myself. I mean, you do what you do. So if you have a piece of paper here, okay, so I'm going to fold it.
Oh, yeah.
You fold it in
Okay.
half. This is the hot dog. If you're folding like
Oh, yeah. I know.
your children, and then
I
you
know the
fold
hot
it like
dog.
a hamburger,
Oh my gosh.
and then
that's
you
so
fold. Okay, so you have these 4 sections, and then you fold your hamburger in half. So you make small hamburgers. Okay. And I'm doing this with a sticky piece of paper, so bear with me. Nothing like a sticky Post-it to make a zine. So you end up with 8 little sections, okay? 8 sections. And then I fold it like a hamburger again. And this is open on the bottom. This is the folded section. And I'm going to rip, cut, tear, whatever you want, just halfway down so that you end up with that. Okay? So then when I put it back to the hot dog and push that together, you'll see there's 4 sections. And I'm just folding my 4 sections. This is the absolute craziest zine I've ever folded, but okay. We get the idea. Okay, so I fold them together and then I have a little booklet. Okay, so that's that's a tiny little journal that you can work on. If you just Google, like go on YouTube and write how to fold a zine, Z-I-N-E. everyone has one. Okay. I even have them on my YouTube channel, but sometimes it's just helpful to do that. But having a zine that is just like 8 little pages. I mean, you could even break it down. So it's the front, the back, and then 2 inside spreads. That's it. That's a whole journal. You don't have to do anything else. Okay. And they could be, like Kelly said, use them as like gift cards. You can start gluing them so that they become pockets, like you can put pockets in them. I mean, you can make journal, zines that explode, but it's literally an 8.5 by 11. Most people fold 8.5 by 11 piece of paper and just fold it up and make a zine. But you can fold, as I've demonstrated, you can fold anything into a zine. But that's keeping something simple. You don't have to, you put one of them in, yeah, who knew you could craft from a hotel room with no supplies except pen and paper on the desk? Oh, honey, yes, you can. Just doodle, draw a mandala. So, it just has to be simple. And so a zine is something that you could throw in like a little travel container. You have a couple pens, maybe some travel watercolor, you have your zine, some glue stick, a bits of collage paper, and no matter where you are, you can just do something. So you don't have to carry a big journal with you all the time. Someone has popped, oh, was that Christy that popped? Oh,
Yep.
How to make a zine. Okay, awesome.
Yep.
Yeah. She popped a link in the chat for y'all on how to make a zine. So, zines are great. I mean, I don't know. There's possibly in this summit that someone is folding paper into a zine. I have no idea. It says
don't know.
Teresa taught that expression art course. I'm not sure what Teresa's was about. So it's quite possible,
Yeah.
she folded paper. She does do that. So it's quite possible that hers is about the zine. So, but yeah, it's stay open, stay curious, stay in a playful mindset. Okay. I use the word failure with a lot of love. And I use it because I think we need to take the stigma out of the fact that you failed when you do art. One of the things I try to remind people is the whole point of science and scientists is to fail. And they fail and learn and fail and learn and fail and learn. They take every failure as a learning, what to do, what not to do, how to try it different, how to pivot, where to go. So why can't we do that with our art? Like you put down a piece of paper and you're like, whoa, that was weird. And then you look at it, and then so you learn what to do next time, what not to do next time, what you enjoy, what you don't enjoy, and I've even told people to, when you watch other people's artwork or watch a YouTube video and discovery versus fail, exactly. If you're watching someone's art and you find yourself going, why did they do that? I would never have done that. I want you to stop and ask yourself why. Like, why do you think that? What would you have done different? Where would you have gone differently with it? What would your choice have been? Because you are looking at someone doing their art from their perspective and their experience and everything, their aesthetic, everything about them, and they don't share that with you. You're your own person. So, but what can you learn from it? How can you take that thing that stopped you or the thing that you loved that you're like, whoa, how did they do that? That's so exciting. Take it and try it next time. So that's something that I also encourage people to do. Like when you're watching YouTube videos and you get stopped by something that feels off to you, is to not just let it be off or not to judge someone's work by, you would never have done it that way. Well, no, of course not. You're not them. So, how would you have done it different? Like ask that next question, go the next step. And that's how you get better. That's how you improve. That's how you find, as the elusive thing in this art world is, your voice. By the way, I think our voices are always changing. I don't know that we all have a voice that needs to stay the same. Finding your voice feels like the end of the road. But what if you're just always looking, just keep changing the tune? Yeah. Sing a different song today if that's how you want to think about it. So, yeah. Keep an open mind, people. All right.
Let's see.
Anything else? Anything else I can share? Any more rants I can go on?
Oh, any. This has
I feel,
been
I feel
really
like I might
fun.
need a nap after this.
Yeah, no rules. That's been kind of a underlying theme, is
Yeah.
that there's no rules. So I think that's, yeah, what people are going to come away with.
Yeah. It's just sharing your experiences and sharing, you know, I'm just sharing. Like I'm sharing, you receive what needs to be received. And if it doesn't, I'm never going to be offended if you're not receiving it because it's not meant for you right now. So that's okay. What medium do you not use and why? Ooh, that's a really big question. I don't use oil paint because those suckers take too long to dry. So no oil paint. I don't use some mediums just because I don't know anything about them. Pastels or oil pastels or any of those types of mediums are not, I haven't played with them enough. So there's not a reason for not using them. I've gotten better with things that react. So like dilution spray inks or watercolor pencils or, Stabilo all pencils, the things that people love to use. I like things to be, when I put something down, I would like it to stay there and not continually to move around and continue to come back. The only thing that I have as an exception to that is watercolor for some bizarre reason, like watercolor itself, not pencils or anything, but themselves, it doesn't matter to me. Okay. I have started using a lot of watercolor through stencils. Do you want to find some happy accidents? Go back and use that stencil again, because guess what? All that watercolor starts to react again, and it changes the color that comes out of the stencil. So it's kind of fun. So yeah, I don't really have one, Susan. Good question that I don't really use. Yeah. But that's a good question. I think everybody has their thing. I also go through stages, you know. I used Inktense pencils like every day for like 3 years. And then one day I just put them away. And then I went to colored pencils. And now the Inktense pencils are back, because I was like, ooh, yay. So, I only used black paint pens and black stamp ink for years. And something this year was like, go buy all the colors. And I did. I own it, like all the pasta colored paint pens, and I have a whole line of colored, stamp pad inks from Ranger. Ranger's my favorite brand with the stamp inks. And, but that was just because it was time. Like, I didn't, it called to me. And now here's the difference. Here's a rant. I have about supplies. I don't feel like you need anything. Like Susan and her pad of paper and a pen in the hotel room. You're good. Okay. I don't feel like you need anything. I want you to sit with the fact that someone said in a class, you need this. You need this color paint. You need this brand. You need these paint pen, this brush. And this is trauma. I will be very honest, from art school. When you would get a list this long and you would spend hundreds of dollars in art school for supplies, and they literally would have you pull one piece of paper out of a pad of paper you just spent $50 on, where they could have just had it and you could have just given the teacher $1 and the whole class could have shared a pad of paper. Okay. So that comes from that trauma. Just know that I'm in therapy. It's okay. So, but, just try things. If someone says this is the best thing they ever had or they have ever tried, go buy one, see if you like it. That's it. That's my rant. Don't buy all the things. But that's just me. Yes, thank you. Where can you find me? Yes, so my YouTube is in there. Thank you. Kelly put in my website. That's always a good place to go. And then Instagram. Yes, I haven't been on there for a couple weeks, but mostly because September. So that will be better in a little bit. And then my free gift for the class is a free little class, a little mini class that will show you how to make a small little journal, use simple supplies, and it gives you a whole prompt deck. It's delightful. And so please do that. And it also will get you on my mailing list, and then you can find out all the things from there. So if that's helpful. But yeah, keep it small. Just keep it simple, short bits of time, and you'll be fine.
Thank you so much, Consie. I learned so much.
Well, good.
It's fantastic.
You're
All
welcome.
right. So, let's see. Thanks so much. Got chills a couple of times from the ideas and
Good.
thoughts behind them. That was Betty. All
Thank
right.
you.
Okay. Well, we'll
Thank
let
you.
you get back to your life. And I know that I can speak for everybody in here and say we all wish you well.
Thank you.
The hurricane stuff and everything.
Thank you. Thank you. No, we're fine. We are not in the Asheville, that the nightmare that is Asheville and North Carolina. We are not in that. We're not in a flood part. So we're lots of trees, but a lot of trees, but we're not in that. So we're good. But thank you so much. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk today. That's what that felt like.
It was awesome. It was
All
awesome.
right. Bye, everyone.
Bye, Consie. So everybody, there is a break between now and 2 o'clock.